This is a very important Palantir video that's unbiased. I want some of you bulls to consider selling to avoid getting rolled over. And I want some of you bears to consider the opportunity of playing options on Palantir. Because of the volatility and everyone else in between, I want you to simply understand the risk and reward of Palantir as an investment. This stock has a lot of volatility right now, and specifically something that nobody talks about is this stock has a lot of social velocity. Social velocity basically means that a lot of people are looking at Palantir on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, and other social media platforms. So that makes this a high social play. And basically you can predict this stock by looking at what other people are doing because, this is an emotional game. The stock market is not really a mathematical game. In the short term, it's all based on what people are doing, what people are saying. And if I look at the Palantir news, right now we can see that Palantir just reported earnings. They reported 13% revenue growth, but issues around the guidance that tops estimates, okay? So Palantir raises revenue target on AI boost and also announced a share buyback. And share buybacks are really powerful. So that is a good long-term trend. But in the short term, it does look like they may have slightly disappointed. And I just made a video on YouTube. And in the last video I made on YouTube, I have told you guys that I am not as much of a bull as basically everyone else. I was issuing a warning. Although I think this is a good long-term stock, I'm not really convinced that this stock is going to go to the moon in the short term. And actually, we can already see that it's likely going to open up, somewhere in between today. It could be a little bit up, it could be a little bit down. We will see closer when the market opens. I do expect a lot of volatility, so I expect this to be a very interesting open today. Now, also Palantir, it's likely to dip. I'm seeing news here. It's not really clear yet since the market isn't open. But this is a really interesting stock overall because once it opens up, there's going to be a lot of opportunities. If it comes down, what I would do is I would actually buy into the weakness. Now, if it goes up, I would sell call credit spreads into the strength. So you see how I kind of move with the waves of the market. So if the market is being really aggressive and people are getting very greedy, just starting off, with people being greedy, that's a good opportunity to basically take advantage because a stock that has a lot of greed in it will likely have a strong peak. So if we go back to Palantir here and I go to 3 months, this could be a very strong peak, especially right here on August 1st. I mean, peaking at $20 and this stock went, back down to 18. Now that is a significant move. So many people underestimate the amount of money that you can make on an option position when a stock moves from 20 to 18. I mean, really, if I take a look at the options right here, for example, if I go to buying put options right in the short term, you will see that it looks like they're changing by 5 to 7%, and that's because Palantir didn't have a huge move. But looking at the strike price of something like 19, even if it was going for, say, $2, this position could have very likely changed by 30% in just a day or two. So Palantir is a fantastic position specifically to do spreads on because a lot of people with smaller portfolios, they're always looking for smaller or cheaper stocks, and I don't blame them. I was at that position as well when I was first starting out. I only had $2,000, so growing my portfolio, it took a lot of time. I mean, even if I go to my 1-year history, I mean, I've been growing this thing for many years, for the past 9 years actually, but it wasn't all in Robinhood the whole time. I've had TD Ameritrade, I've had other brokerage accounts as well, so that's why I never really show my all-time history because it's not really accurate since I have added money. Just to be honest, I have added roughly like $400,000 to this portfolio at various times, so it's kind of hard to calculate exactly how much I've made, but somewhere in the ballpark of 50% returns per year, that's basically been my return, which is absolutely ridiculous. People don't realize that even making 2% a month compounded is a lot more than Warren Buffett, is a lot more than hedge funds. 2% per month is some really big numbers if you extrapolate those numbers into the long term of a decade, 2 decades. Heck, if you can get 2% a month and you buy something for $1, over like hundreds of years, you're gonna have a New York City, okay? That's how compound interest works. So that's why it does become really hard to continue getting 50% returns as my portfolio grows. I'm always looking for opportunities, but it's obviously much easier to grow a $100,000 portfolio into a million, then a million to 10, then a 10 to 100 million. Now that gets a lot harder because you are playing with, bigger cap stocks, but you can also play with medium cap stocks. So for example, like Palantir is actually a really good example. So if I go to Palantir right now, we can take a look that the market cap is 38 billion. So this doesn't really have, it does have the biggest investors in the world, but it's not really a $1 trillion company. So this is a type of company, and this is also why I suspect there's so much social velocity and so much interest, because AI is a big play. AI is a big trend. So this company could become a $380 billion company. So it could 10x. And obviously, if you have something like a leap option, I haven't talked about leap options on the channel for a while, but check it out. So if I go out into, let's just say I'm going to go out really far in the future. Now this is super far. You have to have a super long-term mindset here into 2025. But look, you can buy a $20 call option for $625. Now say in 2025, people's predictions, go correctly, and this is a $50 stock. Well, you're going to have a $25 gain, right? Because essentially your break even is 26. So, if it's 50 bucks, 50 minus 26 is about $24. Okay. So you're going to have a $24 profit, but check it out. You're not going from 20 to 50. You're going from $6 to $24 worth of profit. It's actually a 4x return. I really can't think of anything better than a 4x return in a period of, roughly 2 years. A 4x return, just so you guys know, like looking at Warren Buffett and in the stock market, since it does return about 10% per year on average, there's something called the rule of 72. So the rule of 72 states that to double your money, you take the 72 and you divide it by 10%, right? So if you're getting a 10% return, that means you're going to double your money every 7.2 years. So basically, the stock market doubles roughly every 7 years. And that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's the average of the stock market return. And just so you guys know, most people don't even get the stock market return. They can't even match the market. They're not even in the same vicinity. Just because getting an average market return, although it sounds average, like I'm saying average, but in all reality, average is hard. Average is very hard in the market, and almost nobody beats the market. The chances of beating the market over a 10-year period is slim to none. So when I say average, I'm really talking about elite investors, even getting the average, because most people just underperform. And that's why, a buy hold strategy is the best. And, I am a fan of trading options, and I have done really, really well. But, I do kind of sometimes question myself, will I be able to continue this journey? And a lot of people are promising that they can beat the market. Honestly, I'm not convinced any YouTuber on YouTube can do that. Otherwise, they wouldn't be on YouTube. They wouldn't be sharing all their secrets. Okay, it's very rare that someone's actually sharing their secrets, because in most cases, if someone found an indicator, look, humans are pretty simple. Humans have their own selfish motives, right? We all have selfish genes. So if you look at any normal human, if they found the cheat code, they're not going to be sharing it on YouTube. Okay, they're just not going to do that. For me, I'm sharing what I know. Do I know it works for sure? Is it like a secret money glitch? I don't think so. I'm just doing the boring stuff. Okay, if I knew how to 2x my money in a month, I probably wouldn't share it. I want to say I would, because I love doing this, but honestly, nobody on YouTube is honestly giving you the real knowledge of how to 2x a portfolio in a month. That's just not possible, in my opinion. I'm much more of a steady, consistent, passive investor, and I do this for the lifestyle. I want to make enough money to continue traveling, because I've been through 20 countries in about 2.5 years. So for me, looking at Palantir, I think it's a fantastic opportunity. Would I throw all my money into it? Absolutely not. I think it's ridiculous that how heavy the social velocity is right now, and I see investors just going absolutely nuts over Palantir. And I've been saying, again, warning, you have to be careful. Because, guys like this, Palantir, oh my gosh, with their clickbait titles, I'd be very careful, because I don't think, I'm not sure what this thumbnail is trying to say, $500. That's a bit aggressive. I don't think Palantir is going anywhere near the $500. Now, 50, yeah, 50 could happen. But again, I would be very cautious, to be watching some of these videos like Palantir will 10x. foolproof. I mean, there is no foolproof. This guy is just straight up, in my opinion, you know, to me it looks like deception because, you know, 10xing foolproof. Come on now. Let's be a little bit more grounded. Let's have a little bit more of a long-term mindset. I mean, if life were that easy, right? Wouldn't we not even be on YouTube? We'd be on like a yacht. We'd all be like, why isn't this guy on a yacht, right? Why is he making YouTube videos? You know, I'd be very, very careful. And this stock is not going to double. Okay, maybe it'll double in 5 years, but you know, in a short amount of time, no, sorry, it's not. So here's what I would do. I would basically look at Palantir and I would do two things. I would look at the covered call strategy, which, you know, that makes a lot of sense because if this stock goes sideways, which, you know, it looks like, you know, I'm not sure what's going on with Robinhood here, but if you sell a covered call at the money, you can make in 3 days $113. Now, excuse me, but that's almost 10% in 3 days. Now, that is a big return. That's a safer return. Now, I'm not going to be, you know, buying a short-term call option here. Let me go bet all my money on a 115. I'm not going to do that because, you know, frankly speaking, the stock could go up, it can go down, it can go sideways, it can be a fugazi, right? Who knows? Who knows? Nobody's going to predict the market accurately. And if they can predict the market, they're not on YouTube, okay? They're somewhere, you know, on a yacht in their mansion. And frankly, I worked on Wall Street and I've seen professional traders spending 8 hours a day looking at the charts. I haven't really seen them perform too well, okay? I've not. I've seen the simplest investors, like myself. I actually feel like I'm getting better returns than everyone else, and I'm doing less work. And that's because one of the key components to doing well is just keeping it simple, like the covered calls. And also, I would look at selling puts. So, for example, you know, maybe I would not do the $18 put. You know, that is a little bit aggressive because it's at the money, and the delta right here is 46. I'm typically not selling 46 puts. I'm not selling 46 deltas, excuse me. I am going for, you know, let's take a look at a more sensible option. 16 is a no-brainer. 23 delta, no-brainer. Boom. High implied volatility, high volume, high open interest. Now this, to me, is good. Looking at the bid-ask spread, it's also very good. It's tight, you know, from 50 to 53. You're not losing too much. Again, if you have fees, that reduces your return. If the bid-ask spread is wide, that reduces your return. So you need to be aware of this. So trading stocks that are illiquid is a silly move, okay? You need to trade stocks that are liquid, and right now, to be honest, Palantir does have some of the best options on the market, some of the highest implied volatility. That's what makes this stock a really good play because implied volatility really benefits you. And I think the best two strategies are covered calls and selling puts, and you can watch more videos on my playlist on both of those strategies.